good morning. Chuck here at Apple Drains. Today we're putting in a sump pump that's going to be a collection device for this area here. And you can see this driveway came down to this walkout basement. And they had a catch basin installed when it was originally built, but it has long since clogged. So what we're doing is we're going to cut a channel drain over here to where I've already cut a square for the sump pit, break all this out, dig it up, put the pit in there. They are using their pump. It's a half horsepower pump with a battery backup. And we're also going to put a piece of channel drain across here. The line will come up, discharge, and you can see that we've already trenched the line and it runs all the way out back. So you can see how it works. Basically, we've made a lot of cuts. Now we use our pry bar and just keep beating in one spot until we can get a crack. And you can see the crack's already formed. Now we go ahead and pry one piece out so you can get to all the other pieces. Over here by the sump pit, you can see I made a separate cut because that's such a large piece of concrete. It's easier to have a separate cut to try to lift it out. Okay, so we finished cutting out the concrete, and you can see where we left a little bit in there. There's actually just going to be a pipe that runs through here, but they over poured this by about 6 or 8 inches. So this is about 10 inches thick, and of course your blade only cuts 4 inches. So we had to kind of modify that. Lots of little cuts and lots of pounding. But we've got that all out. We're going to leave this as the catch basin. There is a grate that goes over top of that, and then we'll run the discharge line over there where Derek's digging for the sump pit, and then we'll lift it up over the wall, tie it into the discharge line, and we're done. Well, gotta put the concrete back, things like that. Yeah, there we go. So last bit of concrete here, and you can see we've already got the pit installed, and this water is going to flow over towards that area, but that's okay. And then we're going to clean this last piece out. We'll run some pipe in here, clean up the area, and go ahead and install the pump, and then we're ready to concrete this back. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and cut off the nipple. Here, if you see me do this many times, we just get a good hacksaw and we slice off this nipple. And this is the collection. And this is the inlet line coming in from the catch basin. So we'll set the pit down in here and you can kind of see how it's going to look. Water comes from the catch basin and it will come right into the pit. Okay, so we've got everything plumbed. We're going to take this apart so you can see we've got our sump pit and the lid installed. We've got the inlet line, which is going to go over to that giant hole right there. That's actually an existing catch basin, and there's a big grate that goes on. It's over there behind the post hole diggers. Once we're all done, we'll clean all this up, and then we'll pour backfill into this area here, and we'll go ahead and finish the concrete around our pit. But let's take a look inside because this is interesting. So, the reason I want you to see what's going on here is that they have bought their own pump, and this is called a basement watchdog, and it has a battery operated backup pump over here on the side, right over here. And this is an okay pump, but it only pumps about, I guess it's 66.3 gallons an hour, which is really slow. We're going to push this about 200 feet. Maybe that's wrong. Anyways, I'm sure this doesn't pump nearly what the Zoller will do, but this is what they've got, and they've asked us to install it. We're going to go ahead and put it together. But again, it has a battery backup, which is kind of cool. The way this system works is there's actually 2 pumps. This is a little pump, and this bigger one is a half horsepower pump. If this power goes out here, the battery backup will kick on. There's a separate float switch on this smaller pump that comes up and works the same way. It's just a backup. Again, I'm not a big fan of backups. I think that they're really a waste of money. However, if you want to be safe, of course, you can always install it in there. But in today's world, most of the time, that pump, that power, kicks back on after it goes off, within 20 minutes or so. So it's really up to you and your preference. Okay, let's go ahead and put the lid back on here. And we'll go ahead and put it all back together, clean it up. Again, we're just pumping up and over the wall. And then we're going to tie into an existing trench right here. This goes back all the way back there where Derek's at to the end of the property. Okay, so now we're backfilling and we're just kind of cleaning up. We're going to go ahead and run some water in here, to clean up the area before we pour concrete. The hard part of this is actually trying to create your form to hold that concrete back. And I'm just going to use a piece of cardboard to drill a hole and push it tight. And then that'll set up pretty quick. We should be in good shape. So we've started to put our concrete back. We've got a nice little form down there, if you can see. I just use cardboard as my form. I think it works really good. It's biodegradable, and so they don't have to do anything. A little bit of excess cardboard there, but either way, this grate just lifts right off of there. You can pull that off of there once it dries. So we're going ahead and backfilling with the concrete, do our finish, secure the pump, and then finally we'll go ahead and plumb this all the way over to the discharge line and then out to the back. Working with Quickcrete is actually really pretty good, especially if you get a good mix. And Derek's mixing, and he does a real good job of making a good mix here. So shouldn't take but just a minute to finish this out. We'll put it all the way around and then use our finishing trowel right here to finish it off, and it should look really good. It does dry extremely white. Okay, so here's our completed install. You can see we've got a new 4-inch solid. This is SDR 35 PVC. Runs from this grate across to the sump pit. Sump pump lifts it up, sends it out, follows that trench all the way out to the back, and that should help keep this area dry. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.